Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life.
Thank you for tuning in. My name is Shalom Yamini. Each week, we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find inspiration that will complement your daily life and intensify your connection to God. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Re'eh. Continuing Moshe's final address to the Jewish nation, our parsha begins with the statement, Re'eh, ani noisen lefnechem hayoim bracha u'klala. Today, I place before you blessings and curses. He commands the Jewish nation to proclaim these blessings and curses on Har Gerizim and Har Eval as they enter the land of Israel. He then sets Yerushalayim as the only place one can bring a sacrifice once the Beis Hamikdash is established. Moshe also warns the Jewish people of the consequences if they worship idols and the catastrophic price that will be paid by a city which has ultimately succumbed to idolatry. However, a question comes to mind. One of the many commandments that is repeated in this week's parsha is the mitzvah of tzedakah, charity. The pasuk says that you must help a person who is less fortunate than you, and cautions us to not harden our hearts and to not recoil our hand when giving. Why does the pasuk need to give two different expressions to convey the same idea of giving charity? Furthermore, we also have the commandment of Ma'aser Sheni, the second tithing, that after you gave approximately 12% of your produce to the priests and Leviim, you must take an additional 10% of your crop and eat it within the walls of Jerusalem. And if that is not logistically possible, you may exchange the produce for money and spend the money on food in Jerusalem. What is the logic behind Ma'aser Sheni if it does not go to the poor, the priests, or even God? How does that benefit the Jewish people or even Hashem? The Abarbanel explains that we find a similar expression regarding Pari, that he hardened his heart when he made the Jewish nation suffer in Egypt. The Torah is teaching the Jewish people to not be cold and indifferent to the agony of a fellow Jew like Pari, but rather be empathetic and compassionate towards the pain of the less fortunate and help them out whichever way you can. Regarding the expression of do not recoil your hand, he explains that when you help a fellow Jew, it should not be forced out of you. Instead, it should be done with an open heart. When you give charity, it should not leave a bitter taste in your mouth. Instead, be given with joy, not because you will be rewarded, but because you realize that Hashem is the one who has given you all that you own, and now He is giving you the opportunity to share His blessings with the world. The same concept can be applied to Ma'aser Sheni as well. Although Ma'aser seemingly does not benefit the poor or God, it teaches us that whatever we have is from God alone, and all our successes must not be attributed to our own doings, but rather to the blessings of God. As our rabbis have taught us, give to Him from that which is His, for you and yours are actually His. Moshe is teaching the Jewish nation that when they enter the land of Israel and become prosperous, they must not turn their backs on the less fortunate. And when they do give charity, they must do so with compassion and an open heart, because what they have is all from God, and He is giving them an opportunity to show Him gratitude for their abundance by sharing their hearts and blessings with those in need. In our daily life, it is imperative that we understand that we must be kind and compassionate towards one another, even if someone is not deserving of such kindness, because all our successes are a blessing from God and an opportunity to share His grace with the world. The Lubavitcher Rebbe gave a talk on this week's Parsha in 1988. He explains that this Parsha is read before, or in our case, on the actual day of the new month of Elul. Therefore, it is understandable that there's an intrinsic connection between the commandment of charity and the month of Elul and the idea of tshuva. Consequently, one should increase their giving of charity this month to be inscribed and sealed in the book of life on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. There is a great quote that I once heard: only by giving are you able to receive more than you already have. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos.
Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.